Now to the Real ID deadline, just hours away.
And the rush creating long lines here in Chicago. Terrence Lee is here with the chaos.
Beginning at 4 in the morning. It doesn't open until 7:20, by the way. Look just how many people were there today. Some waiting as long as 4 hours in line. But the rush really isn't necessary unless you're flying sometime soon. That's why Secretary of State Alexis Giannoulias is telling people to hold off on going to the Supercenter or another DMV if you can.
If folks can be patient, if they can come in the next couple weeks, next couple months, especially if you're not getting on a plane, especially if you have a passport, that will make everyone's life easier, especially those who just need to renew a driver's license or need to get a vehicle sticker because it's crowding out other folks.
By the way, if you're flying in the next couple of days and you don't have a real ID or a passport or global entry card, there really is no point in waiting in line. Even if you went today, you don't get the actual ID for about 1 to 2 weeks, and that paper ID won't cut it. Scott.
Well, Terrence, there is some good news tonight for those with a flight to catch who don't have any of those things.
Kennedy Hayes is live tonight at Newark Liberty International Airport, one of the nation's busiest. Kennedy, what should travelers know?
Don and Scott, well, TSA officials say only 18% of people here in New Jersey have identification that is Real ID compliant. Now, that's one of the lowest rates in the country, and that means a lot of passengers here could run into problems.
Folks report to a TSA checkpoint tomorrow and they are not compliant with the law, i.e. they do not have a Real ID compliant ID, they could be subjected to an additional enhanced screening process. And so as time goes from left to right, and more people get Real ID, that enforcement will intensify.
Starting at midnight, TSA and Homeland Security officials say those who don't have the Real ID will be allowed to fly, but may be, quote, diverted to a different line or have an extra step. Travelers who don't have a Real ID can also expect to see new facial recognition screening technology and K-9 teams for extra security. Congress ordered the switch to Real IDs after 9/11 for stronger protections, but years of delays pushed the deadline. Still, a lot of people already have Real IDs and do not even know it. Officials in Texas, Washington, D.C. and Florida report nearly all their residents have Real IDs. A sign you have Real ID is if your driver's license has a star. Many states, but not all, use this symbol to indicate you have a Real ID. So if you don't see it, you may need to visit the DMV for an upgrade. But TSA will also accept other forms of ID, including passports and passport cards, Department of Defense IDs, DHS Trusted Traveler IDs, or global entry and enhanced driver's licenses.
You have a passport, so that'll get me by. I've been talking to a lot of people this week about the Real ID, and they said that the DMVs are booked and it's really hard to get an appointment, like nearly impossible. So, you know, I didn't even try.
We live in Naples, Florida. I've had mine on my driver's license for at least a year, and you got one, I think, in your last driver's license a couple of months ago.
And even if you have the right ID, you could still see longer lines at the airport. Eventually, without the right ID, you may be turned away from getting on a plane at home. Don, Scott.
Kennedy, more headaches for Newark Airport. We hear they're dealing with another round of major delays and cancellations.
That's right. Newark's airport has seen cancellations and delays today. Some of the delays up to 4 hours even. The FAA attributes that to two things, construction and weather today. But we know this airport has faced ongoing scrutiny regarding their staffing shortages and technology issues over the last few days.
All right, Kennedy, thanks for that.